I'm meteorologist Ray Petlin. We still have a flash flood warning for Allegheny County. This includes areas of the city of Pittsburgh and extends from Carnegie, Bridgeville up to Bellevue, all the way back to Monroeville and into West Mifflin. You can see still some moderate rain just outside of West Mifflin. That's going to continue to move off to the east. It's near New Homestead right now, but we have some very heavy rain into Monroeville coming out of Forest Hills, and that's going to slowly continue to exit off to the east. Now, we've gotten a couple reports of flooding. Most of that has been on the other side of the county out towards Robinson. Campbell's Run Road has some water covering parts of the road there, and Route 2230 eastbound at the Tonydale exit, we're also seeing some water covered roadways. So there is some ponding because of the incredible amount of water that we've seen come down in the last hour. 1.5 to 2 inches fell, another inch is possible, and that's sort of the same deal we have down here in parts of Westmoreland County, from Kecksburg down to Horner's Mill, Pleasant Grove up to Ligonier. We have a flash flood warning there that remains in effect until 5:30. We've seen some very heavy rain here. Still some pretty hefty showers coming into Horner's Mill at this point, but it looks like a lot of this is moving down to the south. Now, the issue is that this stuff that's moving out of Pittsburgh could touch into this same area, so we're going to watch that very closely. And we still have some very heavy areas of rain around Uniontown as you get into parts of Maryland and even as you get into Washington County. So there's still a few bullseyes that we're watching. But until 5:45, we have a flash flood warning that does include the city of Pittsburgh. The heaviest of the rain is moving out, but there's probably several roadways with ponding water or slowdowns because of that very heavy rain as it has moved through. We're going to continue to break these down for you, let you know when we're going to dry up. That's coming up at 5 on Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Meteorologist Ray Petlin joins us, and Ray, the big concern tonight are those rising waters.
Yeah, one of the reports I just got came in from Westmoreland County, the Donegal area, where there are people on top of their house on the roof waiting to be rescued because of some fast rising waters. Now, the flash flood warning in this area has been allowed to expire. Now, we are seeing some heavy rain still coming down in one of those areas with a flash flood warning, and that's here in Fayette County around the Uniontown area, Vance's Mill down to Uniontown, and this rain is just north of Farmington. So rather heavy here. More's coming out of Carmichael's and Melrose right into this area that has a flash flood warning in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. And if you do travel in this area and come across water-covered roadways, don't try to drive through it. Your car will likely get stuck, and we've already seen that being the case so far this evening. Now, the Pittsburgh area of Allegheny County, basically from Carnegie to Monroeville down to West Mifflin up to Eastview and Bellevue, we have a flash flood warning in effect for another 15 minutes here, but the rain has pretty much moved out other than some light sprinkles left over. So hopefully this is going to expire pretty much on time. And the heaviest of the rain right now is still draped down to the south. Now, over
the pool is now completely filled with these floodwaters. Ray Petlin is keeping a close eye on the storms in this area, and he's got to have more on the storms that have been moving through the area.
That's right, Ray. I mean, the question is now, are things going to begin to dry out so this water can begin to recede?
Yeah, we're trying to get this rain out of here, but that looked like an above-ground pool, and those are typically about 4 feet off the ground. So some very heavy rains created some very big-time flooding in parts of Westmoreland County. Other areas of Westmoreland County, Latrobe seeing some flooding there, water coming into some basements, and then we're getting some flooding. So several roads covered in water, so many so that the report that comes into us is many roads covered in water. We've seen some very heavy rain moving through parts of Fayette County, through the Uniontown area, through Farmington, Deer Lake, and that rain is slowly starting to retreat. Still seeing some moderate rains out around Deer Lake, out around Farmington right now, but this rain is continuing to slowly work out. Some lighter rain here. But one of the things I want to point out is back to the west, we still have these pockets of heavy rain that are going to move into these areas that have already been crushed by severe rain so far this afternoon and into this evening. So one of these little guys right here could certainly re-trigger things, and we're going to watch this closely as we go through the rest of the night. Now, you can see here on the big picture, heavy rain has moved through. We're not done with it yet. Still some scattered showers that are going to be heavy. This is going to be actually scattered rain and even some thunderstorms that continue to work through, and Futurecast shows those continue to work out of here. And as we get into about 11 o'clock, still some spotty showers around generally tonight. These are going to be coming to an end tomorrow. Much different story. Reports right now of 6 vehicles caught in a flood there, and you can see these green blinking boxes. These indicate flash flood warnings where the heavy rain is falling and where this is triggering some flooding. Allegheny County, Washington County is included. This particular flash flood warning is in effect until 10:45 tonight. Then we have Westmoreland County. This one's in effect up until 12:15 a.m. And this one down in Uniontown is set to expire in the next couple minutes. But we still have some heavy rain moving in that area. And I know we've seen some flooding so far this evening in that area with some water-covered roadways. But the heaviest of the rain right now from Pittsburgh down to West Mifflin. And this does hook down into southern parts of Allegheny County. You can see Bridgeville a little lighter right now, but there's some heavier rain that's going to come back behind that. The South Hills of Pittsburgh seeing this heavy rain. Overbrook to West Mifflin down to Cochran's Mill. And this is dropping towards Monongahela. Now, one of the big issues that we're seeing here is this heavy rain is going to continue to drop down into parts of Uniontown, of course, but this heavy rain is also going to be moving into areas that have seen some incredible amounts of rain so far this evening, and that was in parts of Westmoreland County, namely Donegal, where we've seen some very impressive flooding, and people had to be even rescued from their homes in this area. Now we have this heavy rain that's generally drifting in those locations. So if you've seen some flooding tonight and you see that rain starting to pick up, just know that this could reinitiate the flooding. If you do come across water-covered roadways, if you're traveling anywhere tonight, turn around, don't drown. It's hard to judge how deep it is, especially as we're getting into the nighttime. So we're going to continue to track these storms and heavy rain as we go throughout the evening. And we'll have the latest tonight at 11. Heaviest of the rain right now, Bridgeville to Cochran's Mill down to Monongahela, and this is going to continue to drift east-southeasterly as we go through the next little bit. Canonsburg seeing some moderate to heavy rain there, and some's going to be moving into Washington as well. So this is the flash flood warning we have here in Allegheny County until this one is in effect until 10:45. The one for Westmoreland County is in effect till 12:15. In addition to that, we have a flash flood warning until 9 o'clock tonight. That's another 40 minutes, a little less than 40 minutes for areas of Fayette County, and this does include Uniontown, where we're seeing some heavy rain moving in here. Already reports earlier tonight of some water-covered roadways, and heavy rain moving into those areas is probably going to do it all over again. So we have all these storms we're watching. 3 flash flood warnings that are in effect, and we're going to continue to watch these throughout the course of the night right here on Pittsburgh's Action News 4. Now, Bridgeville's going to see more of this heavy rain. The heavy rain is going to start to drift out of Pittsburgh through Overbrook down into West Mifflin, and this is eventually going to be pushing into Westmoreland County. Now, Westmoreland County has been hit particularly hard this afternoon. We've seen rescues occurring in the Donegal area, and now this heavy rain is going to be pushing in that general direction. So we could see the flooding flare back up in parts of Westmoreland County. So several areas under flash flood warnings. Areas of Pittsburgh points north into the North Hills until midnight. For areas of Washington and the south side of Allegheny County, that's until 10:45 tonight. Until 12:15, we have a flash flood warning for most of Westmoreland County. We're going to continue to track these storms throughout the course of this evening and have the latest for you coming up tonight at 11 on Pittsburgh's Action News 4. All right, this evening we've seen a lot of flooding around the area. Just keep in mind it takes some time for that rain and that flood water to recede. And if you're doing any traveling in the South Hills, especially tonight, give yourself some extra time, because if you're traveling quickly, this flood water could come up on you rather quick. You want to make sure you give yourself as much distance from that as possible, as there is still some standing water in many locations south of Pittsburgh. Now, the heaviest of the rain from Monroeville into West Mifflin down to Bell Bridge, with some moderate rains pushing into Westmoreland County. But you can see Pittsburgh's out of the heavy rain. Bethel Park is out of the heavy rain. Although these areas south of Pittsburgh are under a flash flood warning until 1:45. That would include areas from the South Hills of Pittsburgh to Washington to the state line. And then as you get into Westmoreland County, this flash flood warning is in place until 12:15. We have to get through this little bit of rain here first before that would be allowed to expire. Still some moderate rain around Ligonier, where we also had some flooding, but it looks pretty dry as you get down towards Donegal, where there was some major flooding earlier this evening. So the rain is slowly coming to an end, and we're finally going to see it retreat. But